Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. What's going on? Thanks for stopping in and spending a moment of your day with the Faccis Man. Today I'm going to do a quick review for the newly released straight to Netflix film from Rob Zombie, 2022's The Munsters. And now this might shock you, but I'm not the biggest Rob Zombie fan. I mean, it's pretty much kind of obvious, no offense to Rob. He does have, you know, a flair for the directing aspect of it. His story writing is pretty terrible. His dialogue creation is rough. And he gets the same actors and actresses, for the most part, to be in every single one of his movies and never spices it up. And then, you know, we're used to the raunchy, the grindhouse vibes that Rob brings to his films. The Munsters, a family film. Are we going to get a rated R raunchy version of this beloved classic TV show from back in the day? No. He definitely went the family-friendly way. It's PG rated, so that was a shock. So I was very curious to see how this was going to go down. And, you know, so I wasn't really expecting much. And another thing is, I don't really know a whole lot about the Munsters, to be honest with you. Not something I grew up on, not something I watched. I mean, I obviously knew who they were, Herman and Lily. I know that, but I didn't really, you know anything else other than that about the show. So going in pretty much blind. I saw the trailer that Rob released, and everybody, you know, has the same consensus. It was terrible. It was a terrible trailer. I don't know if they did that on purpose, what the marketing strategy was for that, but I think it backfired. They should have probably taken that trailer a little bit more seriously, because, you know, a lot of people were turned off right then and there. They decided for themselves they weren't going to give this movie a shot. So right off the bat, you know, the marketing engine that was working was wrong. And if they could go back, I think they would do it differently and give us a very serious trailer. But all that aside, I wasn't going to watch this movie, but I saw a bunch of people watching it, and my buddy Nick from the Lost River Drive-In, he was raving about it and everything. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it and watch it. And, you know, I watched it. I put it on, not knowing what to expect. It wasn't terrible. I know a lot of people were saying it was really, really bad. I'm kind of right in the middle on it. The aesthetic that Rob put in front of us, the sets, the atmosphere, everything was oozing. Like it was beautiful to look at from whenever they were over in Europe or whatever, and then when they came to the United States on Mockingbird Lane, the house, the iconic Munster house, it looked great. All the stages were beautiful. The way the shots were constructed were great. It definitely caught your eye, like the color palette that they used. You know, it was very enticing. It drew you in. It fit what this movie was perfectly. So I don't think that was the problem. So props to you on the cinematography and the creations that you made in this film, because they really work great. Obviously, I didn't really know how Herman Munster and Lily were supposed to be, because I never watched the show. So I know I've heard some people criticizing the way they were acting. Jeff Daniel Phillips, I believe, was Herman, and obviously Sheri Moon Zombie was Lily. And I'm gonna give props to her. I'm gonna be honest. I thought that Sheri Moon Zombie, this was her best acting job that I've seen. Yes, she was cheesing it up. She was going all full ham for the camera, and that's kind of how this goes. I had no problem with her portrayal of the character, since I didn't know who the hell it was anyway. But I thought she did a great job, and I think this was an actual movie that I actually liked watching her in. Does Rob need to use Sheri Moon Zombie as the main star in every film? No, of course not. But they have that's the special bond that they have. He directs, she stars in it. That's just the way it is. It's never going to change. I mean, they love each other. I mean, come on, what else? At least they got that going for them, right? I thought Jeff Daniel Phillips was fine. He was fine, cracking the dad jokes and laughing at his own jokes and everything. That was fine. The Count, I thought he was great. You know, that's that typical, you know, daughter's dad, or, you know, wife's dad, girlfriend's dad, that doesn't like the boyfriend, can't stand him, wants to do anything he can to separate them. but in reality, he knows it's never going to happen. They're meant for each other. So I thought all the the acting was good and serviceable, and the characters were fun. The downside of this movie, there was no story. This was pretty much just an origin story setting up for another film afterwards, because as far as I know, they do have kids, and Eddie and I think they might have a daughter, I'm not sure. They weren't in this movie at all, and no mention, because they just hooked up. So I'm assuming they were trying to go for a sequel, but depending on the critics and the audience, we might not even get a sequel. So they maybe should have just put all their eggs in one basket, laid it out all in line, cut the story of the love story and then finding each other in the beginning half, and then transitioning to Los Angeles and developing a family and then finishing that way. This way kind of just ended a movie that really didn't have a story, unfortunately. So that was a downfall for me. I really didn't have that many. The dialogue was cheesy and corny, but I think that's the way it was going for, so I have nothing against it for that either. Just really wasn't... I'm not a Rob Zombie guy, but this one was okay. It was okay. It was definitely not his worst. Wasn't his best, for sure. His favorite is the Devil's Rejects is my personal favorite from Rob. This is probably right in the middle, to be honest with you. But if you're looking for that Halloween fun time movie with the kids, maybe pop this in. I think the kids might get a little bit of enjoyment out of it, seeing all the scenery and everything that's going on in the characters. They might really like that. So I'd go with that. And yeah, if I had to give this a rating, I would definitely probably say I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5. And I know you might be saying, damn, that's pretty harsh, but I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it for the most part. Would I watch it again? For me, probably not, but I know there's others out there that really are going to love this movie. And those are my thoughts, but let me know what you think about the Munsters. Leave it down in the comments below. Love to hear it. Hit the like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, Patreon, all of that junk if you're new and you want to support me in any way. Love you guys. Have a scary day.